guys, it's your girl Miss Mika. So this is my first live, so bear with me. But I thought I'll get on live because there's been something on my mind that I've been thinking about a lot, and it's pretty much like friendships. Like, why is making friends as an adult so difficult? So I want to just have a little TED talk as I get ready. I'm actually about to go on a date. So yeah. So I met this girl, right? And I met her in like one of these little Facebook groups, like from my area. If y'all didn't know, I'm from Atlanta. And she invited me to go out to do like yoga on the rooftop. We did the yoga, me and this other girl. She said she had extra tickets, so we went. So we went out, we had a good time or whatever. Then I invited her and the girl that came out for the yoga class for brunch because, you know, I like some brunch. So I invited them, they came up. I feel like we had a good time. So we've been pretty much like, we text here and there, like only in a group text, like I chat with them, whatever. And this summer, I bought a house. I wanted to go out, celebrate, whatever. So I invited her. So that was the last time that I saw her. So I moved. I had a lot going on. I didn't really like do a lot of texting back and forth just because, you know, life happens, shit happens. So I did reach out to her like sometime like in October, like, hey girl, I got this invitation. I want to go out and do this fitness class. You want to come? Crickets. So I'm just kind of like, all right then. Well, you know, she kind of left me on red, y'all. So I'm like, well, I'm just not even going to worry about it. So fast forward to yesterday. So one of my goals, like from 2023, is I want to be like intentional with like my relationships as far as like family, dating, friendships. Like I really want to be intentional because sometimes I get caught up. Like I'm typically like a busy person. Like I work, I go out, have a social life, obligations. And so I just really wanted to be more intentional. So same group that I was in, they were saying that they wanted to go out to check out Frequency Fridays at the museum. So I went, I was like, hey y'all, want to come? It's been on my list. Y'all know I do a date night blog, so I love to check out different things that could be like a good date night so I can recommend them because I definitely just don't like recommending, you know, places that I haven't personally been. So I go, I meet up with the group, whatever. And, you know, introducing myself, because when you're chatting online, you're looking at people's profile pictures, everybody look different. Hell, I look different from my photo because my hair changes all the time. So she hugs me and was like, hey. So at first, like, I'm looking at her and I'm just kind of like, oh, wait, I recognize you. Y'all, it was the girl that I had been hanging out with in the summertime with the class that I text and invited out in her crickets. So I was, hey girl, like, you know, it's good to see you. Like, so she was like, what do you mean where I've been? You know where I've been. You know, I got a house too, blah, blah, blah. So I was a little like taken aback, y'all, because I just really just was like, you know, like, hey, like, where you been? I haven't seen you in a while. You know, black people, you know, when we ask a question, it can mean like several different things. So I was just kind of like, wow, like she a little like hostile, like what is this? So I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna let this like kind of just roll off, whatever. So I asked her, you know, how things were, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward, we standing in line. And so, like, you know, like I said, I met her when I met this other girl. We all met at the same time. So I asked her, like, hey, have you, you know, heard from the other girl? I haven't really heard from her. You know, last time I heard from the other girl was like, so she was like, no, I ain't heard from her either. I feel like both of y'all was acting weird. So I was like, acting weird. I was kind of like a little taken aback, y'all, because I have never heard anyone say that I act weird. Like, I never heard that before. So I asked her, I was like, well, how am I acting weird? Like, why do you say like I'm acting weird? Like, what is this? So basically, she was just like, she felt like I was acting weird because I only text her in a group text, and that I never hit her up on a one-on-one basis to go out together. And so I was kind of like a little taken aback. I was like, wow, I didn't know that, I needed to, hit her up like for like a one-on-one basis. So I just kind of like, I don't know, y'all. I was kind of like a little like taken aback. Like, I just didn't understand like where she was coming from. I kind of felt like, I don't know. What do y'all think? Like, if you meet someone like in a group and then y'all all like exchange phone numbers and then y'all all have a group text, like, are you expected? Like, do you expect people to be like, hey, text me to the side, like I want to hang out on a one-on-one basis? Or do you kind of just, stick with, texting the group? Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of like a little taken aback. I just didn't understand. I felt like, why, she couldn't communicate that to me and just let me know and say, hey girl, let's go out. Like, I was reaching out. I was inviting her places, granted it was in a group chat, but I felt like, dang, like I gotta do more. So let me know, y'all, what y'all think. Am I tripping or what? Like, how do you navigate like friendships, like when you meet people like in a group? Do you just stick to, reaching out to them like in a group text, or do you take it a step further and after y'all hang out like that one time, then you individually like reach out to like all the other people and just try to do a one-on-one? Like, I really want to know, because I really want to, like I said, one of my goals for 2023 is just basically just to focus, be intentional with my relationships, and just be intentional when I meet people, when I socialize, just, be intentional. So let me know. And on the flip side, I'm getting ready to go on this date, and y'all, like, when I say I hate dating, I hate dating. Like, it's gonna be the death of me, like, for sure. So what I said I want to do, because all my friends say that I always have like the funniest stories. Like, I don't know, it's just something, like, I always have weird situations like that happen, and they're always like, girl, you need to just, you need to do a story. Like, you need to do some talks. Like, you need to do blogging. Like, talk about your dating experiences and, the things that be happening. Because sometimes, like, they really can't believe, like, some of the stuff. Like, all right, I'll tell y'all about this one. Trying to find stuff, y'all. I'll tell y'all about this one, like, date I went on, and it kind of really, like, blew me. So I went out with this guy, like, I had met online, and in his profile, like, I felt like I just completely like ignored like a red flag. I always find myself trying to like give people like the benefit of the doubt. Like, I see stuff, but I'm like, nah, this can't be true, y'all. It just can't. So, hold on, let me put my little lipstick on. And I'll finish telling y'all the story. Alright, so I rated his profile, like he was pretty cute, decent, you know, saying like he would be like a pretty cool person to go out with. So in his profile, it was like at the very top, and he was just like, well, what if I told y'all I like nice things, but I'm cheap? So I'm just like, you know, cheap, like what's cheap? Like everybody has their own like definitions of cheap, right? So I was like, I'll give him, you know, an opportunity where I can see like what his definition of like cheap is, because you know my definition of cheap and somebody else's definition of cheap just, you know, may not be the same. And you know, these days I kind of find myself, I ask like people to define words, like what does a word mean to them, because you know people have, like I said, they have different meanings for everything. And the worst thing you can do as far as like communication is you go based on like an assumption, and then you like assume that, oh, this is what, you know, the person mean, and then come to find out y'all was on like 3 different like pages, right? So I went out with him or whatever. So our first official date, this was like our second time meeting. Now I have to tell y'all the first time later. But we go out on a date. He wanted to take me to one of his like favorite little spots or whatever. So I was like, all right, cool, we can, you know, go check it out. So first of all, y'all, he was late. That kind of like annoyed me. Like I cannot stand when people like are late. Like it just does something to me. Like I feel like I don't like, time is precious. My time is precious, and if I took the time to like show up somewhere like on time, then I expect the same. So I'm standing there waiting on him. And on top of that, you know, these restaurants these days, some of them, they won't let you sit down unless your whole party is there. So, and then I'm watching like people, like it's already a line. So people like coming, like it's just getting packed like so fast. So he finally shows up. Said that he had to try to find parking, blah, blah, blah. Like the traffic in Atlanta never changed. The traffic is the same. So it's kind of like stuck in traffic. It's just kind of like an excuse that just really just doesn't fly. So, yeah, so we get there. Of course, when he gets there, the last like little table was taken, of course, because he wasn't here. So we had to go to the bar or whatever, which I don't mind the bar or whatever. I actually these days prefer the bar. I feel like you get faster service when you go to the bar. So I feel like, you know, we talking, we having a good time, like conversation is going good. And then like an hour into the date, he's like, oh, I just got an alert that, you know, my parking is about to expire. So I was like, well, how long did you do the parking for? It was like an hour. I'm just like, since when do anyone go anywhere to a sit-down restaurant and can sit down, eat, drink, get full in an hour? So I was just kind of like, I didn't understand like why like the parking was only set for an hour. So then like now like I'm sitting here like he's like going back and forth like, oh well, what time should I do the parking or whatever? And I'm just like, I already reserved my parking for like 2 hours. So I'm kind of like, I'm not understanding like, what do you mean how much time you need to add to the parking? So he added up time, whatever. So let's just fast forward, y'all, to like the part that kind of like really blew me. Where I was just kind of like, nah, I can't see myself like going on like any more dates with this man. So I ordered my food, whatever. I felt like the food was disgusting. Like the way he hyped up this place, like, oh, I really like this place. Like it was like I don't know, like if any of you guys like ever been to like my Atlanta people, y'all ever been to Blue Seafood? Like I just was not impressed or whatever. Like the vibe, granted, like the vibe was there. Like if y'all check my tops, I got like I put like a little overview of like when I went there or whatever, so y'all can check that out on my page. But I just really wasn't impressed like with the seafood. I'm a big seafood person. Like seafood is my favorite food. So when you're taking me to a seafood place, the seafood place like just better be like on point. Like it just has to be on point or I'm judging you. So the food was I mean it was a lot of food. Like I get them portion size was good. Like I got a lot of food. I just felt like when they fried that shrimp, they didn't put enough seasoning on there. Like I felt like my grandma or somebody needed to be in the back seasoning the shrimp because it just didn't really have much seasoning. Like the fries was better than the shrimp. So all right, so we getting ready to go. So we closing out the tab, whatever. So he was just like, oh, are you taking your food home? So I'm just like, why is this man worried about whether or not I'm taking some food home? Like I literally like already told him like off the top, like I didn't think the food was like that great. And like I asked him about his food. He even said like his food like wasn't the best. So I was really like baffled. Like why you asking me if I'm taking some food home that I said that I didn't like? So I was just like, nah, I'm not gonna take, no food home, whatever. Y'all, this man, y'all, literally like looked at my food and he was like, you sure you're not gonna take it home? And I was like, yeah, nah. He was like, well, you can take it home and like, you can doctor on it. Like you can put some seasoning on there, like pop it back in the air fryer. I'm just like, nah, like it's really not that serious for me to like save this food, y'all. So I was just like, yeah, nah, like I'm just not taking it. Cause like what? I take the food home and then as soon as I get home and dump that shit in the trash, like, like yeah, no. Y'all, he fixed his lips and said, well, do you mind if I take the food home? Like the strength that it took for me to like hold my composure, like when the question was asked, I was just like, I had to really like hold my face because even when I'm not talking, my face says everything. Like I have like some very strong facial expressions, and I had to, y'all, it was, when I tell you, like, it was a struggle, like, I struggled so hard, like, to contain my facial expression, and I finally, like, mustered up, like, like, strength to, like, say something, and so I gave, like, a week, like, yeah, you can take it, whatever, so, so y'all, he packed up my food like to take it home to eat it because he wanted to eat it for lunch tomorrow. And I was just kind of like, dude, I've only like laid eyes on you twice. We've never like kissed or anything. And the thing about it is you want to take home some food that like I kind of like played around with. Like you want to take this food home, that same food. And so yeah, he took the food home, and I was just like I can't, like his level of cheapness and my level of cheapness is definitely like not on the same page, like at all. Like my level of cheapness, like I go to the movies and I don't want to like spend a whole bunch of money like on popcorn and candy. So I might like pop me some popcorn at home, toss it in like a little Ziploc bag, and bring my own candy. Bring me, some water, bring like a little drink or something. That's my level of cheapness. Like I've never been like so cheap that I'm gonna ask someone to take home like their food that they ate off of. Like, y'all, like I couldn't like do that. Like the only exception would be like, okay, this is your man. Like, you my man, I'm your girlfriend, because chances are we together, I'm already eating off your plate and you eat off mine. So it's kind of like our leftovers at this point. But somebody that I'm just dating and I only laid eyes on you like twice, and you asking me for like my leftovers that I picked over because you just so cheap and you don't want to see it go to waste. Like, yeah, it's a it's a dub for me. And then y'all, so of course I was ready to go. I was kind of like starting to do like the little yawn thing, like, ooh, I'm tired. Like, I gotta get up early tomorrow. Like, ooh, the bed's calling my name. And so he decides to like walk me to my car, y'all. And then like after this, he's like, well, I want to know, like, what did you think about me? Like, what did you think about our date? And I'm just thinking, like, y'all, like, the whole time, like, I'm in my head and I'm just talking to God. And I'm like, God, like, what have I done for this level of craziness? Like, you really want me to, like, act out today? Like, I'm just thinking in my head, like, why the hell would he ask me, like, oh, how do I feel? And it's like, dude, you literally just took my leftovers, like the food that I ate over. You're taking that. And then you're going to ask me, like, oh, so what did I think about him? Like, what did I think about the date? So I had to kind of, like, I was just like, oh, I had a good time. And, as far as, like, what I think about him, I was just like, it's too early to tell. We only, we just met, and, I was just like, oh, I'm just, trying to see, like, if what we both want, like, out of a relationship, or whatever we want, like, out of this situation, if it aligns to, like, our life goals. And that I just, just pretty much just taking the time to just kind of like get to know him. But I was just like, I had already decided, y'all, like, after that date, that I was pretty much like done. So I kind of like, of course some people do, we do, I guess, just started like just getting, all of a sudden I was just so busy. I just had a lot going on, and it just wasn't available. And then like I eventually like just kind of just was like, hey, look, I'm just gonna keep it real with you, because I don't like to like play with people's feelings. Like, we've all been there and it doesn't feel good. And I just, finally told him, like, hey, I just kind of feel like we just, we for the amount of time that, we kind of like known each other, I just don't feel like, I felt like we didn't really know each other that well. And I told him, like, I just don't, from what I've seen, I just don't feel like, we're compatible. And that I felt like he should know, because I'm just like not in a business of wasting people's time. And so luckily, he was understanding, and he understood like how, what I was saying, and he didn't really get upset, or anything. And, that was that. But I just couldn't see myself, like, I just knew it just wasn't gonna go anywhere, because the whole cheat thing, like, he also like told me some other stuff too, and I'm just not gonna put that out there, but he had told me some other stuff that kind of like further confirmed like how far he was willing to go for like his cheapness or whatever. And I just kind of feel like those situations, like, he was getting himself like into situations like because like of being like so cheap. So it was just kind of like it's a hard no for me, y'all. So that was like one of my crazy like Atlanta like dating stories like that I had. So all right, almost just practically about done getting ready. So all right, so from what I talked about tonight, y'all, so I want to hear from y'all. Drop y'all comments down below as far as like adult friendships. Like, when you meet somebody, my question, when you meet somebody in a group, y'all all in a group text, Do you feel like, you should reach out to each person, individually to, set up some one-on-one time, or, is, continuously like texting in the group chat, like inviting the group as a whole, like to come hang out? Do you think that's cool? And as far as like dating, have y'all ever went on a date and had someone take your leftovers, or have you went on a date and you took somebody's leftovers? I want to hear back. So I hope y'all like enjoyed like my first live, and I'm looking forward to doing some more lives with y'all. I'm definitely gonna start doing lives. I go to like the Hawks basketball games because I'm a basketball girl, so I'm always like, I'm going. I got season tickets to like go to the games, and I tell y'all, every time like I go to the game, like there's always like an experience of like something happening like while I'm at the game. And I was just like, I'm gonna have to do like a TED talk like about my experience about these games when I go to the Hawks games. So I'll be definitely doing more lives and just chatting and just letting y'all know about craziness that happened, in my life outside of, me blogging and, going out to different places. But it's Saturday, it's the weekend, and I hope y'all are enjoying y'all weekend. And let's see, Eve McLeod 947, hey, I see you, and y'all have a good night.